Well, finally, this is the first episode of The Fight Show, or whatever the fuck we're going to call it. The Fight Show. It's a new podcast. I'm doing it with co-host Matt Connell. How are you, Matt?
Good, man. I'm doing great.
Now, we've tried to record this 3 separate times already. This is our 4th go.
4.5 hours of wasted material.
Right. And in that, each time, I always said to you, and I know you'll love this, that you were not my first pick for a co-host.
Yeah, this is now the 4th time.
The 4th time you've heard that.
Thank you.
So, in fact,
it's just as bad in case.
Yeah.
In case.
Well, you're going to be, but you're still my co-host, right? So
I guess at the end of the day,
yeah,
I live
you're still
closer,
a co-host, so
that,
get over it.
You know,
And,
geographically, I made more sense.
But we're going to have guests on too.
Yes.
And we have a guest here today, and it's very fitting actually that this guy is on here. This guy would have been my first pick as a co-host.
So I've been told.
But he lives too fucking far away to do that. But it's very fitting that he is on the very first episode of this podcast because he also happened to be my very first guest on the Sploocast. Trevor Muxworthy, how are you, baby?
I'm good, man. How are you guys?
I'm very good. Are you hurt that
Am I
I've started this podcast and you aren't the co-host?
No, I'm happy that you started this. We did phoning it in.
That's right. We did phoning. Yeah, I just came across that not long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good podcast.
That was fun.
Yeah. But see, when I got thinking about it, I was like, oh, I can't have Trevor. I get along great with Matt. But I thought Matt was a better choice anyway because Matt's only been following the fights for like 3 years. So I think for the listener, it gives them a bit of a different perspective where you and I could get deep on fucking pride fights and, you know, we wouldn't have to explain it to anybody. We'd know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
In this case with Matt, he's kind of, you know, he came in with Connor.
I'm all about
basically.
the show, baby. Give me the show. Give me the show. Let's go.
You know, he's a Connor era new
Right.
fan. So I think it gives a pretty interesting perspective in hindsight
Yeah.
to have a guy like Matt as the co-host.
Yeah.
But you were always my first choice.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
We'll put a picture up or something.
What?
We'll put a picture up somewhere.
Yeah.
In memory.
Yeah.
Thinking of.
But you're the first guest, and it's beautiful. You're
Oh,
down
it's
to
good
watch
to be
the
here.
fights.
I'm in the studio.
It's fitting that the
Nice.
first episode has him, actually.
That's what I mean.
You know,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost like fate that we fucked up 3 times.
I think it is.
Right?
Really, I think it is. It's worked out. Just like the UFC 223 card, right?
Oh, my
It's had a
God.
fucked up week.
This is-
Now we're all squared away. What do you guys think of Al Iaquinta? Trevor, what do you think of this fight? Al Iaquinta's finally in. He's fighting Khabib tonight. What's happening?
I like Al. I like he's brash. He speaks his mind. I was kind of surprised that he got the opportunity. To be honest,
Me too.
I thought it would for sure been Pettis when I worked the night shift. So when I woke up, it was kind of already determined.
Yeah.
I didn't go through the 3 stages of Pettis, Felder.
Oh,
to
you missed
Iaquinta.
all that. You
I just woke up
got the
and
final result.
it's pretty much it's going to be Raging Al.
Right.
So, but if I would have been awake when I got the news that Max was out and who are they going to replace, I would have thought Pettis would have took it.
Yeah.
And then
That's what they
I
thought,
don't
too.
even know what the commission in New York is doing this week.
They don't know what the fuck
If
they're doing
they're
this week
punishing
either.
them for Connor's actions or whatnot, like pulling Max due to just based on
Unfit.
looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Well, I think they pulled Max because he was in danger cutting the weight.
4
He was in
pounds away?
He was endangering his own health.
Sure.
And that's why they took him away.
But I heard that it wasn't like medical. It was all based on just kind of like the look of
physical.
him.
The look of him during the weight cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, listen, they're a new commission, or MMA is new to that commission, and they've been fucking every card up. Every card that's been in New York has been either bad judging, bad reffing, you know, a commission fuck up. It's par for the course in
Right.
New York, you know. I was surprised they picked Al too, and for a different reason. Him and Uncle Dana don't really get along.
No, he's
You know,
really,
Especially
He's
after
very-
his last fight.
Yeah, and he's very vocal about it. I mean, he
Yeah.
took a 2-3 year hiatus.
Yeah.
Over contract disputes with Dana and all that shit. So I was surprised that way.
me
And
too.
then even after he beat Diego, he fucking was on MMA Hour just ripping the UFC to shreds.
Oh, yeah.
And then after they went to that institute or that fighters thing they had with Snoop Dogg and all that
Yeah.
stuff. The
Yeah.
summit, right?
Yeah.
The summit, he left early and said it was a waste of time and a joke and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, so he's been
He's not exactly a team player. He's
player,
not a
no.
company guy.
He's
by
not a
any
company
means.
guy, no.
No. But you know, it's kind of funny because Matt Serra and Dana White are very good friends.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't
it's
know.
in Brooklyn, so you know they know that the tickets that they're going to refund they're probably going to sell to a bunch of local people because now Raging Al is the main card, right?
the entire population of Long Island's going to be there now.
Well, Dana
Yeah.
said
You know.
they only refunded 295 tickets so far.
Jesus, that's
So-
a very low number.
Yeah.
You know, because what does that place hold? It's got to be like 18,000.
It's got to be
right?
Oh,
yeah, near 20, if not 20 for sure.
Yeah,
That's
Barclays
pretty good.
is big.
I love Al being in this fight because I actually think he's got the best chance out of anybody they've had so far to go in that fight. I mean, let's be honest. Pettis was going to get ripped up.
Yeah.
Stood
Yeah.
zero chance.
Tossed.
Sport has passed him by. His time's over.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I hated that fight. I'm like,
What
this
about
is-
Max? What do you think about Max?
I was really excited for Max.
See, I thought Max
I,
was
uh,
going to get ragdolled.
Well, I think Khabib smashed him. I think
Yeah.
Khabib is smashed. 25 minutes long night. It's gonna be a long night for
Long
you.
night.
But
well, actually, what he said
by-
to Max is, you won't be the same.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where you think the fight's gonna go one way, but you want it to go to it.
That-
Want it
that's
to go
me,
another.
that's how I
that's
felt,
that's how
yes.
it was with Max. I was like, I think and know Khabib is gonna smash him for 25 minutes or less, but I want Max to win via
Anything.
knockout or
yeah.
just he shows another level. He shows that
Whatever.
he's blessed.
That would have been something.
Yeah.
That would have been something because then now you got a challenger to Conor McGregor for pound best.
And a
You know,
good,
yeah.
and a good
I'm
showman,
not saying
too,
that
can
Conor's
sell
pound for
tickets, too.
pound best, but you know what I mean. Now you've got an argument with Max and Conor, like
A guy
that would
who's
have been something.
double champ, who's already defended the original belt. Like
Yeah, basically followed in his footsteps and more because he defended it once, right?
yeah,
After
Yeah.
losing to him
Yeah.
as well, right? So that's a nice rematch for him.
Yeah,
on the
absolutely.
line,
Yeah,
right?
that was a great setup. I want to interject here because before they offered the fight to anybody, they offered that fight to Brian Ortega.
yeah, they did.
And I got to be honest, I think that is, out of everybody they've picked so far, that would have been Khabib's toughest test. I
Yeah.
really believe T-City's so good off his back, on the ground. He's great at striking. Obviously, he just stopped Frankie Edgar,
Yeah.
who's never been knocked out like that before. I was excited to see T-City. I think that's, and he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he
he's
is.
huge. So I don't know what happened there, why they didn't go with Brian. I mean,
Well, I think they were worried about what happened with Max. They're worried that he wasn't going to be able to make weight, and if he doesn't make weight, well, no harm, no foul. We can book Ortega now against Max real soon.
Yeah.
and now we got another pay per view with a strong headliner.
Yeah.
yeah.
right.
Although, like Brian did admit on UFC Unfiltered, he was walking around at 190.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Well, I saw him on Fighter in the Cade there.
Right.
He's like next to Brendan Schaub, heavyweight. I'm like, fuck, he's a good sized boy,
Yeah,
man.
he's a big kid.
Yeah.
yeah. And, but he's so dangerous off of his back. I thought, well, this is a great matchup for Khabib, right?
Yeah.
Even better than Max. Certainly better than Pettis. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I like Al, man. I've always been a fan of
Yeah.
Al.
He's coming in. He's arguably saving the card, right? Like with
Oh,
Connor's Dolly incident there, like scrapping
Called a hand truck.
a hand truck. Yeah.
It's a doll.
Why are they calling it that
I
in the
know.
news?
Yeah.
Fucking hand truck.
Like 3 fights, right, removed from the card.
Right.
So it's it takes it from the lowest amount of fights on a pay-per-view since
It was at 9 fights
Maybe
now,
since
right?
maybe since ever.
You think they would
You know,
lower the
since the
pay-per-view
early
price,
days at least.
but they're not.
no, actually it's the 180s. They had something similar. They had people pull out.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
There was
180s,
only nine
186
fights.
I want to say.
Yeah,
Something
right.
around there.
Yeah, yeah. It's what a crazy incident. I mean, Connor just goes fucking Looney Tunes and destroys a bus.
Do you think it was all over the Artem Khabib thing
Yes,
earlier in
yes,
the week?
That's what
100%.
I think. Really, that was just an excuse
Right.
to steal the spotlight back. I mean, let's face it. Connor loves to be in the headlines. You know what I mean?
But
And
he
now,
comes
so
from
here's-
but he does come from like Crumlin, that real loyal, the place of Ireland that's real poor, right?
Oh, he's
I think-
Irish mafia.
I think he's
all the way.
looking at that like I don't fucking you punk my boy when he's alone.
Sure.
I'm gonna show up with fucking 30 goons and smash a bus. I don't like that he fucked up the fight card. I hate that people got hurt. Like I wish he wouldn't have fucking thrown a dolly or a hand truck.
Sure.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, well, it's a hand truck.
Through a glass window at fucking random people.
Yeah.
But I love that Connor just fucking came in. For me, that just sets up the biggest fight ever.
Everyone that I read, like on the Underground forum and stuff, everyone was, I hate Connor and he's ruining this and he's an asshole. And I'm thinking, you guys are fucking marks. He's doing this. He's already pre-promoting his fight with Khabib.
Yeah.
And he's getting all the attention back on him. Let's face it, this is his weight class, right?
Yep.
And all anyone's talking about is Khabib. Connor goes, oh, you want to talk about Khabib? All right. We'll get you talking about Connor
Sure.
again. You know?
True.
What's your take on that? On the whole Conor incident?
I think it's bullshit. Like I don't really like Conor that much, to be honest.
Oh, now we're getting to it. Here we go.
Like, you know, I backed Diaz, both Diaz fights. I'm a Diaz brothers fan.
Me too.
I thought it was a little bit crazy. It seemed a little bit WWE
Sure.
to me.
It definitely
You know,
is
you're
WWE.
doing this in a, you know, you get in through your media's press credentials, and, you know, of course there's 10, 12 different camera angles, and then of course UFC Embedded has it, and he's the thumbnail of just fucking.
I was surprised to see that they actually put it on Embedded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I knew they were going to milk it. It was number 3 trending on YouTube, and UFC Embedded's never trend on YouTube.
Right.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
they're just kind of a niche thing that, you know, the hardcore people,
Sure.
you know, get amped up
Maybe
to
a million
watch
people
Yeah.
seek it out.
Yeah.
Maybe a million.
It already had 1.5 million views when I watched it like last night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I noticed it today. I took a screenshot of it and threw it on my Facebook, circled it, and I put, "You can't tell me the UFC's not loving this."
No, it's
Fucking
one of those
right.
things where, you know, Dana sits on the live stream going, "This is terrible. This is disgusting."
Yeah.
Yet he's making the calls for the lawyers.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
all like
Oh, he's ordering a new vault for the money that Connor's going to bring in with this fucking fiasco.
he's got to
you know?
play like the angry dad when you get like kicked out of the hockey game, but when he like comes in and like, you know, you're just you and your dad in the locker room, he kind of, you know, smiles. He's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
absolutely.
attaboy."
Yeah, slash that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
attaboy.
Slash
We're
that
getting rich
motherfucker.
off
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting rich off this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge promotion. I mean, if Khabib doesn't win, it's almost wasted. I mean, if Khabib loses tonight, that whole deal is almost wasted, right?
Yeah.
But
It's
someone
worth it. It's
texted
worth
me.
it
My
to
buddy
me.
texted me that Connor could be looking at 7 years
Oh,
for
man.
this.
Oh,
shit.
no.
And I said, give your fucking head a shake. It's going to take him 7 years to count all the fucking money from this Khabib fight after this. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just promotion.
I've
I've been
heard
watching
it-
Muhammad Ali do this kind of fucking thing for decades.
Yeah.
You know? This,
I wasn't really around when Mike Tyson when it was heyday, but like, you know, there's stories of all that, like of his craziness, and
Oh, yeah.
and I've read like on the internet, I've heard that he'll just be facing fines. He won't do any
Oh,
sort
no,
of,
this
you
is
know,
part of
it's
the
just
course.
fines. It's
Yeah.
just
This
he's
is
gonna
what-
have
this
to
is
come
a
back.
elite
It's a few
athlete.
fines.
yeah.
You know, it's
he might lose 1% of the 100 million he just fucking made to fight Floyd. You know what I mean? It's gonna be pocket
insane.
change. No matter what the fine is, it's gonna be pocket change for him.
you know, yeah.
And he's
You know,
setting
he-
up, like, this Khabib fight, if it goes down, is going to be insane. You got Russia versus Ireland. If they do it in Russia, that's...
To do it in Russia, Connor may never return to Ireland.
No.
I mean, they may not get
He's,
out of there
he's going to
alive.
have full-time
you know?
security.
Yeah,
He won't be able to
major
sleep with
security.
all around his bed. He's
Yeah.
not fucking going piss without someone saying
It's going to be. I hope they do it. You know, I hope they do. Actually, I almost hope that fight's not going to happen because I'm pulling for Al Iaquinta tonight.
Yeah, I
Are you guys both pulling for Al?
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I fucking
Just
hate Khabib.
yeah. I like Khabib. I actually kind of liked him in the press conference. He was kind of showing a little bit of, you know, just what he's about now, and
There's more humor to Khabib than he gets credit for.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
actually kind of a funny guy.
I like him on the mic, but I don't know. I just think his record is a little padded. I think 25-0. So when you start going through that list, and even the names that the people that he fought, when he fought them, I don't know. I just look at his 25-0, and I'm not really impressed by too much. He might have 3 fights on there that are
The most impressive is RDA.
Right.
When he
But that
fought
was a while
Rafael
ago.
Dos Anjos. That was right before Dos Anjos became a killer
Yeah.
that they eventually became. It was right before that. But I mean,
And
he
when-
got fucking dominated by Khabib. Absolutely
But
dominated.
he also got tagged by Michael Johnson.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, his record is not great. I mean,
Yeah.
you look at like Tony's record. You know, compare him to Connor's record. You know, as far as quality of opponent, it's not that impressive. But it's the way that he beats everybody.
Yeah, that's impressive.
That's
oh,
crazy
it's
impressive.
you know, it's a vicious wrestling style that's entertaining to watch. It's not boring. It's
Yeah.
you know, he's always throwing elbows. It's dirty. It's hurts to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, it's painful to watch Barboza go through what he went through. It was like, man, can you imagine what a long night that would be?
Yeah.
But not only is he beating these guys down, he's jawing at fucking Dana at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
He's yelling at the fucking opponent's corner.
Hey, he's saying quit. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
want this more than
This
you.
is
Just
my
quit.
death.
Yeah,
Destiny.
you
This
know
is
I
my
deserve this.
destiny.
You know I just quit. You know I deserve this. You know.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
It's crazy. I remember UFC. I can't remember which one, but Don Fry was fighting a guy named Mark Hall, and it was the same thing. He dragged him down the ground. He was just pounding him. He hit him in the ribs so many times that like his ribs were a giant bruise during the fight. During the fight, his whole rib cage. But Don Frye just kept saying to him, just fucking quit. You know you're not going to win. Just quit. I don't want to hurt you. Just fucking quit, Mark. You know I can't do that. You know I can't quit. You know, that's the last time I really remember that happening in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was that, roughly?
That was early. That's
yeah. We're talking UFC 8, maybe 9.
I'm thinking single digits.
Yeah. Between 8 and 10, I would say.
That's crazy.
And I think it was an ultimate. See, back in the days, they had the tournament style, right?
Yes.
8-man tournament.
Right.
But at the end of the year, they'd take the best of those tournament winners, and they'd have a fucking tournament. So it was called the ultimate.
Did Gracie always win those too?
No.
Oh.
No. Jesus, I can't remember if Gracie was even... He was in the first ultimate. But I think he got injured against Keith Hackney, maybe. Yeah, I think he won his fight, got injured. There was an alternate. Okay. I can't remember exactly. We're talking a long fucking time ago.
Oh, man.
And we're talking like over 20 years ago.
I've watched so many fight cards now that when I watch them by myself, I've started journaling just because it's too hard to remember when I go back and be like, oh, UFC 208, what happened? So then I can just be like, oh, okay, there's like a quick rundown of my like kind of quick just...
See, that's why you were my first choice.
Because I just get
super
Are you
high.
taking
no,
notes?
I get so drunk and stoned when I'm doing it, right? So I'm just like, I never remember the next day. Like,
I mean, Cheesy's getting super high and probably falling asleep half of it.
And that's the worst thing. Whenever I've gone to a UFC, I've always eaten an edible, and the next day I'm like, it was an awesome time, but I don't remember it. Like,
I find it's harder to remember from a live event.
Yeah.
Than it is from watching on TV for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much going on.
Yeah, it's the whole atmosphere of the whole spectacle. Or
Matt and I talked about the live event experience on one of the unsuccessful podcasts we've been recording this week. And he was saying, what were you saying? Your buddies went. What were they saying?
My buddies went. I think they went to the one in Montreal, like GSP fight card or whatever.
Right.
And they said it was a great time, like the fucking party and all the atmosphere is great, but they didn't really enjoy it because they said everyone was looking up at the TV. So he's like, I may as well just fucking sit home, watch the TV.
You definitely get a better view from home.
I can hear the commentating better, but then you inform me you can buy the headset. But I don't know if they were just too drunk to realize that.
Yeah, you can buy that transmitter there for like $12.
And that's a little bit nerdy though too, man. If I would goof on anyone who had the fucking Bruce Buffer, Joe Rogan fucking connection there, man.
Well, you know what? The first time Jamie and I went, a few minutes into it, I said that to her. I said, I missed the commentary,
Yeah.
Anyway, she went to take a leak or something. And that's not very, you don't want a lady to take a leak, do you? Anyway, she went for a wee-wee. And she came back with
herself.
this. That's right. Yeah. She relieved herself. And this shouldn't be such a big deal.
She took a sissy.
So anyway, she took a sissy. There you go. Yeah, I got to go take a sis. So she came back with this fucking transmitter. And I was blown away. I wore it for exactly one fight. And I was like, this is too weird.
Yeah,
I got the great atmosphere, and I got Rogan all muffled in my ear. It's so loud in the building, it's hard to hear it anyway.
Yeah.
And also for me, when I first started watching MMA, like Connor brought me in, but then after I started watching some more Fight Night cards and FS1 cards, I didn't really know what the hell I was watching. So the commentating was good for me to realize, what the fuck are these guys, especially on the ground.
What they're doing.
I can see when people punch and kick each other in the face, but when it gets on the ground, I can't tell if someone's moving mount or I don't like me. I'm thinking this guy's. I'm like, what the fuck's he doing? But he's the one actually in control.
Yeah.
So the commenting on it actually helped me just learn MMA.
Absolutely, and that's why Rogan has been so invaluable to the UFC. Explaining that to someone who just tuned in, and what they're doing now, and he's trying to do this, and
what he wants to do, like he needs to step over here, he needs to control the right arm. He breaks it down to because he's so good at it that he knows what they're doing, and then sure enough, the guy goes to try to control the right arm, and he tries to step over, right? Because it's such a step-by-step procedure type martial art, right? Jiu-jitsu.
And that's why you need a commentator who is. Basically, you need someone who's a black belt in that art
100%,
to explain it to the audience. So, what do you think about the live experience, though?
I think it's amazing. I've
How many have you been to?
2 UFCs and 1 local promotion.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the UFCs, I went and saw the GSP Diaz fight. Probably, I think it was 7 years ago.
That'd have been a nice card.
And because he fought Nick in Montreal.
In Montreal, yeah. It was 7 years ago. I think it just popped up in my Facebook memories about either like 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago.
That's actually the same fight card I think my buddies went to.
And we had pretty cool seats. We didn't get like, awesome seats in the lower bowl. I actually recommend when you go to a UFC, if you're, on a budget, to get like the low rows on the upper bowl.
Yeah.
We had front row on the upper deck. So we were just sitting on top of the action right at about the red line.
It's a great
between
place
the
to
red
follow
and
me.
blue line.
Oh, that's a nice spot.
So you could watch the octagon, but once it gets to the ground, you do have to go up to the TV because
Yeah.
it's just they're too small, right?
Yeah.
Like you're-
But those are great
you know.
seats, particularly in the Bell Center, because I've
Yeah.
sat exactly right there, front row of the third tier, and it's fucking beautiful. No one in front of you. You're way up there. You can actually see into the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no obstruction of the cage. It was fantastic. And we went for every fight, right? So for casual fans or for people, it's a long event if you go for every single
guess.
fight.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's
You're-
a
you're-
6-hour trip.
Yeah, you're going for a long one. You're eating
Oh, yeah.
you're eating two highly medicated cookies. You're going for many smoke breaks.
Yeah.
You got the fight card, and you're like, all right, we're going to dip out before this fight, and we don't really care about that one.
Yeah.
And the other one we went to was just a UFC Fight Pass or an FS2 card in Halifax.
Rory versus
Safadine,
Yeah.
Sponge.
Oh, that was actually a nice fight card.
Yeah.
I watched that on TV. But
Yeah, in another I'm a big UFC fan, so it to me it's awesome, and we did the same thing. We didn't get the lower bowl, and quality wise, it was good. You're
Yeah.
gonna have good fights throughout, and it just it when you go there, it kind of creates for some reason I still follow Chad Laprise and
Yeah.
Olivier Aubin-Mercier.
Yeah, you
on
do.
this
You
card.
get attached to the fighters a little bit more when you see them live, right?
Yeah.
That was my experience too.
I forever will be a Rory McDonald fan. Just hearing Halifax go crazy over like his introduction, right?
Yeah.
The GSP Diaz fight was boring as hell by the time I was so sleepy and the day was so done for me with
Sure.
the way GSP was fighting. But the fight before that, the Condit Hendricks fight, if you want to go
that was the call.
revisit a fight,
Oh, shit.
that's a war.
There's some homework for you.
I think I saw it. I think
Yeah.
I watched it on YouTube.
That's a friggin' war, man. I remember
Yeah.
actually being just drained after that fight because that was just
Yeah, especially if you're there live for it, right? Like
Yeah.
you're literally on the edge of your seat.
yeah.
Yeah, I think UFC put it on their YouTube page before one of them was fighting recently, and I think I just
Okay.
watched it off their YouTube video.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, I've been up in that bowl, and I've also been in Toronto, the very first one in Toronto. I was right on the floor, about 9 chairs back, right at the fucking cage, and that was amazing. Like, Lyoto Machida on that card kicked Randy Couture's tooth right out of his fucking mouth with the Karate Kid kick,
Yeah.
right? The crane kick. And that experience, being that close to the action, was absolutely fucking amazing.
Well, and that was the cool thing about going to the local promotion too.
Right.
Like to kind of bring it back to my 3 experiences. I got to go to one of the Elite One MMAs at the LBR here in St. John, and that was cool. Just being so close, being at a table. You could fucking hawk a loogie at the cage. If you
Yeah.
if you had some power behind it.
Sure.
And Nick was of course fighting, so there's like that camaraderie there of
When he got the stoppage then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Against a wild motherfucker.
yeah.
Yeah, man, that Sean Hickey was crazy.
And-
throwing wheel kicks, spinning shit.
And it was well done, man. I was very very happy with my experience.
Elite One MMA is a fucking great promotion.
Yeah.
They do good work.
Ooh, friggin'
The beer's working.
yeah.
That's the
The,
Modelo official sponsor of
And
The
the fight
UFC,
show.
the
And
fight
there's
show,
there's
yeah.
tons of friggin' MMA and kickboxing in Fredericton. We got a kickboxing association or league
no
in
kidding.
Fredericton now called PFL, I think.
Okay, have you
or
been out?
PKL?
Have you been out to any events?
Not to the kickboxing.
Shit,
no.
we should do
They
that.
did the very first time in Fredericton. They had an MMA event. They actually did it how Bellator did one event where they did split kickboxing at
And
one
MMA.
side and MMA. They had the two.
That's cool.
And they said they would never do it again. It was a little bit hard on logistics, which I
Yeah.
can see it would
Yeah,
be.
I would
For sure.
imagine.
But it's popping off, man. I remember like 2 years ago sitting down with my dad and just saying like it's a shame Fredericton doesn't have any MMA whatsoever. And then sure enough, I read in the CBC, there's a commission now and there's actually going to be fights. And
Yeah.
and then sure enough, now there's been L-Jack is big in Fredericton.
That's right, L-Jack, yeah.
Elite 1 doesn't come to Fredericton. They kind of play into St. John and...
Moncton.
my bad, actually. Elite 1 has came to Fredericton once. But L-Jack's big in Fredericton.
Yeah,
with
they
Brandon
tried to scoop Nick on his last fight. They tried to get him to pull out of that fight and come fight for them. And Nick reached out to me, and I said, "You can't do it, man. You've already committed to Elite 1 MMA. They're a good promotion. They've been
Right.
good to you. There's no way you can fucking do this.
Right.
You know, you
It's
gotta-
like comedy, right? Someone books you on a paid show.
Yeah.
You know, you're a feature actor, not the headliner, but you know, you've been with them, you've done a show before with them.
Yeah.
You can't back out 3 weeks, a month before the show and say,
You
hey,
can't do it. And in this case, I mean, in the comedy case, that's one thing. But in this case, not only are you fucking the promotion, you're fucking your opponent too.
Yeah.
Right.
And he happened to be Nick's first opponent.
right.
And they were, you know, they've been friends ever since. You know, now 3 years, right?
Sure.
So yeah, you can't do stuff like that. But I hear good things about L-Jack. I hear real good things about them. So I'm going to be reaching out to Elite 1 MMA and L-Jack coming up to try to get Nick booked. Whether it's another amateur fight, a pro fight. Like I told him, you're set to go pro.
Yeah.
I mean, why not get fucking paid for it?
Yeah.
Right.
If you're gonna get
It's-
punched in the face, get some
yeah,
money.
it's hard enough to find opponents. We should open it up to pro as well.
Is
You
heavyweight?
know what I mean? Heavyweight's always there's always so few heavyweights.
That's what I was getting. Yeah.
Oh,
It's the
yeah.
division that's always the thinnest. Historically, it's always
Because
been
I
the
would be a
thinnest in the
heavyweight, but I'm not
UFC.
stepping in one of those kids.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? That's it. Well, and the stakes are higher for heavyweights because you know you have that power, right? So I mean, most heavyweight fights end in a fucking knockout.
Yeah, it's
So
as a big person, you underestimate your power, right? Like I would never go in a cage. I've thought about it, but even at work, you know, when someone asks me to, you know, move something, I don't even think twice, and I'm just fucking like gorilla, just just grabbing it and moving. And they're like, "Holy fuck, man!"
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, "Oh, I forget it. I forget
yeah,
it
you forget
sometimes,
that
you know?
you're a larger human being.
Yeah.
And, yeah, absolutely.
And it's scarier. The heavyweights are they end scarier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the fights are just scarier.
Yeah. Well, and you know, it's not like a featherweight fight. Like every single punch could definitely knock you out.
Yeah.
Well, even
You know,
Francis
so-
and Stipe, their fight, like Francis could barely even fucking walk, and when he was barely touching Stipe's fucking buckling his knees.
Oh yeah. I
was
mean,
like,
if he hit one
man.
of, if he, you know, if he hit me, and Ngannou hit me with one of those punches, you know, late in the fifth, I'd be through a fucking wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can take a hit.
I'd be snoring.
Yeah, it's great. Stakes are way higher at heavyweight, and I think that's what keeps that division thin.
So-
no one wants the risk of getting knocked out.
When we were talking about the difference between going to an event and watching on TV, speaking of watching on TV and commenting, what do you think about Jimmy Smith going with Rogan? It feels like they're too similar.
We're gonna
to
find
be in
out
the same
tonight.
card.
Yeah.
We're gonna find. I'm interested to hear it. I'm kind of thinking the same way you're thinking.
Is it them
Too
and
much of
Anik?
a-
Is that what it is? Those two and
Yeah,
Anik?
that's right. It could be too much of a good thing. It'll be interesting to see the dynamic. I mean, what we're seeing is the start of the passing of the torch.
I
Right.
think so. So who do you think is going to go to the cage? Do you think
Oh,
Joe
Rogan.
will continue.
Rogan's gonna do it?
Rogan will
absolutely.
continue to do his post-fight interviews, I would say, until
think
he's
so.
ready to step away. And I think that's actually sooner rather than later. I think Rogan is not doing full-time or North American pay-per-views. I would actually, my hot take is Rogan is done doing UFC within 2 years.
Yeah, you know what? You know what I
Within,
think. I
and
tend
it
to
could
agree
even
with-
go under on that.
Yeah, here's what I think. I think Rogan loves the UFC.
Sure,
And,
absolutely.
And I think he's always been a company guy. Although he doesn't toe the company line, he talks freely and openly and honestly about shit. But he's very invested in the UFC and always has been. I think he wants to make sure that he's putting Jimmy in a good spot, bringing him along to where he's ready to take over, and that's when you're going to see him walk away.
Yeah.
I think he's going to stick around long enough to groom Jimmy, and then he's going to walk away.
Well, you have such a talented. I love listening to DC. I love DC and Rogan. I wish they were kind of
That's
the
a
same.
great
DC and Rogan are my favorite.
Oh
combo.
yeah,
They're
it's
great
great.
I like Anik too, because Anik just does his fucking what he needs to say
Yeah.
to get paid, and then he just kind of hangs back and lets those guys go at
and
it.
he's not quite as over the top as Goldie. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be
No.
honest. I miss Goldie, you
I
know what I
miss
mean?
Goldie,
But
too.
Goldie's not, when you buy a company for $4 billion plus, you don't want Goldie as your fucking main guy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, Goldie. I was kind of upset because I
I
came
loved
into UFC
Goldie.
kind of late, right? So when I got into UFC, I was loving Goldie and Rogan.
Sure.
And then basically, as soon as I'm a diehard, he's gone, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
it was the little things with Goldie and Rogan. Like one of the little things that I would always remember it was just like it was a relationship that they had, right?
Yeah, they were
and,
friends.
Oh yeah, and they've
Yeah.
been doing it for so long. That my favorite thing to watch is on a pay-per-view card on like the prelim when like they either bring Dana in or it's just Goldie and Rogan and they're trying to sell the pay-per-view to the final people, right?
They get fucking
and then at
hyped.
the very end, they just look at each other, and it was
Yeah.
almost like they're just look at each other until who crack who, right? And
Yeah.
then you would just see the camera cut off because you
Yeah,
know
'cause
they're
you
just
know
like
someone
what?
cracked.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
It was just every time like looking forward to that. Now there's not really that, but there's
It's
so
not
much
that
good.
fun dynamic,
But the quality.
The quality is better. And
Dominic Cruz, all the guys that they have with the English fellas there. Dan Hardy's good.
Dan Hardy's great.
I love sometimes when I gotta fucking watch a card at 2 p.m. on a Sunday in Australia or Japan, and it's Dan Hardy and some other English motherfucker, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
I
buddy
love
with the
it.
bow tie. I can't remember his name.
It's good. It's
I do wish though every now and again, maybe even just for the ones that are on Fight Pass, they'd bring in the voice Michael Schiavello. There's just something I love about that guy. It's
Yeah.
just
Maybe
just
bring him
his-
in for the
just
Contender Series. Or
his
something.
yeah
Get
like
rid of Snoop Dogg.
just his little fucking.
That's something I didn't
Quips.
watch at all.
Oh really?
Dana White Contender Series.
Yeah, I watched I think 3 episodes, 2 or 3. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go faster with that. That's probably coming through.
Yeah, you're really fancy, eh?
I'm from
It's
Fredericton.
all about
I'm
taking-
from Freddie Beach, baby. Freddie Beach.
He's definitely from White Collar, eh?
All right, listen, we've been talking a lot about this event and that event. Why don't we talk about this fucking event that's coming on here in just a couple hours? What I hate about it, like we've talked about the main event, I think we're all in agreement that we all think that Khabib's going to win, but we're all hoping that Iaquinta can pull it out.
Let's go raging.
Yeah.
Right? Is that
Yes.
fair to say?
Yeah, Raging Al within 1 and 44 seconds.
What would you, if you were
Dilly, yeah.
if you were creating the line? How would you book this line?
I was actually when I was driving here, I was
If it was
thinking of
just you.
like, are we going to talk about sports betting type of thing?
Absolutely.
And I think the way I make money or do my sports betting thing is it's purely by like probably a flawed mathematical algorithm that
Sure.
I've just figured out, and it seems to hit
Yeah.
right.
And you've
Where
been
I think-
following this for like
years,
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Where I think the true way to make money is to actually be a handicapper, to say, oh, Mark Splood is fighting this guy. I think Mark is minus 240, and I think that guy is plus 320. And then you look at the line and you go, holy fuck, Mark Splood is only minus 105. I'm going to put money because that's a steal, I think.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah.
So in handicapping that fight, I personally don't think I'm a good handicapper because before I'll always go, okay, I think it's this person. And I'm pretty off most of the time.
Right.
But I think I was reading before I made the drive here, Khabib was like minus 1,100, I
Jesus
think. So that, that's...
That's a bit.
You'll never make money off
No.
No.
So what's it must be like a minus 6.
Or plus
Or
600, I would say.
Yeah, plus
Yeah.
I haven't checked. I would probably, in my opinion, I don't think anyone in the UFC, even if it's Khabib versus Paul Felder, I have a hard time believing anyone is more than a plus 500. I think any professional athlete that fights for a living
Yeah.
is
Has
better
that
than
good a
is
chance.
better than a plus 500.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Rose. When she first fought Joanna,
Yeah, that line was
I thought
crazy.
now there's only one exception to that rule, and that's whoever fights Cyborg. It just seems that she's
Yeah.
she can go to minus 2,000 and
It'd be
minus
interesting.
2,400 and still be a profitable bet.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see the line with Nunes though against Cyborg.
I'm checking it.
I'd be interested to see that line.
I think
I think it'd still be a huge gap, but I don't know if it'd be. I don't know.
I'd probably say Nunez is probably rocking around like minus 300s.
Ooh, I was thinking.
Or sorry,
Yeah.
Nunez, underdog, Cyborg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
okay.
I had it flipped in
I was
my
like,
head.
geez, I'll take that bet.
yeah. No kidding. Yeah. No kidding.
No,
I'll take Cyborg all day on
I think
that one.
I would bet on Nunez for a plus 350. I'd put some money on her.
Listen, I think she's got the best shot to beat Cyborg.
I
But
think she
anyway,
does too, but she's already booked. She's booked to fight. What's her name? They just announced it.
is she
last night.
finally fighting Megan Anderson or?
No.
I heard that she's going to be fighting.
They just did a
Gina
big.
Carano
They just did a
again.
big press conference.
Oof.
Cowboys fighting. There's a bunch of big fights.
No shit.
TJ Cody's on.
yeah.
Oh, good.
TJ Cody too.
Same result.
Well, I
That's gonna
heard
be the
the
same fucking
UFC
result.
had this 25th anniversary press conference. I think that's the one you're
Yes,
talking about.
yeah.
I heard the rumor was Connor was going to be announced to return on that press conference, and he fucked it up with this whole hand truck incident. I heard there was a rumor that there was going to be an announcement of that. And I know Dana said at the original 223 press conference with Max and Khabib that Connor was going to fight this year, but it won't be in the U.S., I don't think.
Probably not. Yeah,
Alright.
probably not. Okay, so
I got the betting odds open now.
you've got the odds. So what are the odds right now for the main event?
All right, main event: Khabib versus Al. We have Khabib as a minus 700.
Okay.
And Al's a plus 450.
Okay, so right around, like I
Man.
said, no one
20
should...
on Al. You know, 20 on Al doesn't sound too bad.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It's
You
a, it's a
know?
good wasted $20, I think.
Because it's
you should
bet 10
lose.
to win 45, right? So
Yeah.
you'd 55 return. So 25 to win 100 and some odd bucks. That's
Yeah.
nice.
That's a
That's a
nice
fun.
dinner.
That's a fun little sweat,
Fuck
right?
yeah. Fuck yeah.
So who do you got for? Before I tell you the odds, well, everyone's gonna kind of guess where these are at. But
Give us the odds for Joanna. I'm sure it's very close.
It's the exact same.
It's a pick 'em.
It's a pick.
Yeah. It's a
105 or
Minus 115.
wow,
150.
what a
yeah,
difference
take
from the
cheese.
last line. The
Yeah.
last time, their first fight.
Yeah.
Oh
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember Jamie bet someone at work $50, and I was like, "Jamie, did you get odds on that?" I was so upset at her. I was like, "Jamie, you bet
You
50.
get 5 to 1.
You bet $50 straight up." I was like, "That man owes you $250
for
at
sure.
least."
Big time. So how do you feel about this fight? What do you think?
Man, the first time I watched that fight at your house, I like Rose. I hope she does exactly what she said she wants to do, and that's
Right. Hope in one hand, shit in the other. But who would you bet?
Who would I bet?
Yeah, who would
on
you
a
bet?
pick'em?
Yes.
I
'Cause
would,
you know what?
I would bet Rose.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a piece of paper,
Mark's got kind of a hot take here.
and we're gonna
To me, it's a hot take, I guess.
we're gonna
You know, I don't think
we're gonna write these picks down because
we're held accountable.
we're gonna be held
I
accountable.
like it. We're calling how they're finishing too, right? Not
All right.
just who wins.
Me,
This is pro.
Matt.
This is pro level.
T. So main event pick right now, Trevor. Your pick to
Raging
win.
Al,
You're picking Raging Al. Al.
Yeah.
Which round?
1.
Round 1. Method?
TKO or KO?
TKO. Okay. Matt, main event. Pick.
Khabib,
Khabib. By
TKO,
TKO. What round?
3.
Round 3.
Oh, yeah.
TKO. Okay, I'm gonna pick Khabib by decision.
Trevor, you're picking with your heart, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Decision.
Definitely pick
But
with
that's
your
why I
heart.
say I don't actually put bets on unless the computer says that it goes one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I always bet with my heart on these bet with my heart picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I'm gonna owe you.
No, no exactly. Exactly.
We give you some X's and O's or something.
All right, give me your take on the co-main event, the women's championship, and give me your take and your pick.
My take.
Yeah. You kind of half did already a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's exciting. I think the rematch was granted. It's obviously Joanna was
She deserved it.
100%. I do think that Joanna is probably way more technical. Looks great in the embeddeds. She should win. However, I would, on the piece of paper, it's a Thug Rose victory via submission.
Rose, sub, round.
Oh, I have to give her a round.
What's up, too?
Rear naked choke.
Ooh, good call.
Oh, we're not going to hold you to that one, but we'll give you the sub.
RNC and round. What was the last fight? It wasn't round 2?
Round 1.
Oh, round 1?
Okay.
Yeah.
2.
TKO.
Round 2.
I actually put 3 down.
Round 3, sub, rear naked choke. What's up there?
I have to take the odds to Dean to Vegas.
Vegas.
So Vegas, can you take me?
Yeah.
It's a little young for Vegas, but thank you very much.
He's tall enough. They won't even ask questions.
Hun, maybe another 6-pack of Modelo.
Yeah?
Yeah, please. All right.
Okay, where do I find that?
Okay,
At
it's
the
by the
liquor store.
Giuseppe's and the Corona and the Corona.
Okay.
It's a cerveza. Matt, what do you think? Co-main
Ooh.
event.
So we've talked a lot about this fight.
We have, you and I have, and
Yes.
no one has heard it.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
So, but I'll give a little pre, I guess. So,
Sure, yes.
their first fight, leading up to that fight, I was very pro Joanna.
Right.
Big Joanna fan. Watched her last couple fights. Man, I was all in. I was fucking blown away that Rose just walked her down and took her out.
Sure.
And leading up to this fight, I was feeling the same way. I was Team Joanna the whole way.
Right.
Until the press conference.
Yes.
Rose turned me on the press conference.
She only said like 3 or 4 words.
Perfect.
She's like, I just want to be myself.
I just want, yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that Zen Buddhist
Yes.
shit.
Yeah.
She's on
That's
it.
what I've been
She's
talking
on
about.
it.
the
She's
Zen
on it.
business.
She's got it.
Yeah.
And Joanna's questions were a little bit defensive. I'm like, I don't know. So at that moment, my tide started to shift a little bit.
Sure.
So today, where I'm at, is going to be 5th round.
Give me the winner first.
I'll give it to you last.
All right. All right. 5th.
5th round finish.
What kind of finish? Sub, KO, TKO,
Rear naked choke, Rose.
Okay.
sub, Rose, round 5.
Round
Okay,
5.
here's my take. Joanna has been mentally devastated. She was the killer. She was the unbeatable fucking champion. She was better than Ronda, respectively. And now she's not. She got knocked out. She's never been finished like that. She was never dominated like that. Everyone thought she was fucking bulletproof. Well, that does something to you mentally. Never mind the knockout. What that does to you mentally, right? And I mean, this is a mental game.
Absolutely.
MMA is a mental
Oh,
game.
yes.
And I think Joanna, I don't think she's there mentally. I think that knockout's really going to affect her. It's also affecting that she's not the champion. She used to be the big deal, right? Now no one's calling her for interviews. UFC's not sending her here, sending her there. Her whole life has changed. And she wants that back so fucking badly. In fact, she thinks she deserves it. She keeps saying to Rose, she's got my belt, that's my belt. That's not your belt, bitch. She fucking knocked your ass out.
Yeah.
That's her belt.
She made you
know,
tap by
if it
punching
was,
you
you know,
so
some
hard.
kind of bullshit decision or even any kind of decision, okay, sure, go ahead and say that you were the reigning champion for a long time. She fucking took that belt. She's the champ. I think Rose is too mentally tough. She's much better on the ground. Rose has too many ways to win. She can beat her on the ground. She's already proven she can beat her in a stand-up battle. She just knocked her out. So again, mentally also, where does that leave Joanna? She's like, oh, I'm just going to outstrike her. Not so fast, because last time you couldn't. She outstruck you. Now she's going to see that coming this time, and that's a little bit of a factor. I think Rose has the mental edge. I think she has way more ways to win. I think Rose sub 2nd round.
Ooh.
That's what I'm taking.
All same. What sub?
Rear naked.
Rear naked, all of us.
I'm saying rear naked, but I'm hoping for an armbar because I love armbar.
You love her. You must have loved DJ's armbar then.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a ninja armbar
That was the
right there.
most beautiful submission probably that's ever happened in the
Yeah,
UFC.
and he didn't even
Yeah.
need to attempt it. That fight was over.
Oh, he had it in hand, no problem at all.
So reason why I went 5 rounds for this fight is I think Joanna's going to be real distant for the first couple rounds.
I think so. I think she'll be very patient.
And I
like
think
she
it's
said.
going to be near the end, and I think it's going to be a toss-up of who's winning the fight, and then Rose is going to say, the only way I'm winning this fight is is doing something. And I think at this point she's going to just take her down, try to put her to sleep.
Yeah. I disagree. I think Rose is going to go right fucking after her. Right? She's going to want to close the distance. She's not going to want to play this fucking distance game. She gives Joanna any distance. Joanna could pick her apart. Right?
It's going to be a great fight.
It's going to be a great fight. It's
Even
been
though everything happened,
overshadowed.
this is a good card.
I mean, it was already overshadowed by Ferguson Khabib.
Yeah.
And now with everything that's fucking gone on this week, no one's
one's
talking
talking
about this fight at all, and it's probably going to be.
But it's probably
the
good.
best
For,
fight
it's
on the
probably
card.
good for them though, because they're not being distracted. Well, I guess Rose was in the bus.
It has taken-
So you don't, and she, I guess, was pretty fucking shaken up. about
Yeah,
that.
that's what they say.
I
That's
saw
what
her
they say.
afterwards. She looked a little teary-eyed. She looked a little fucking.
Yeah,
Well, it looked
But
like
last
from
time she was
the
crying backstage, so
You know-
she still KO'd her.
yeah.
small little bit of embedded detective work that I saw, it looked like she was actually just one row behind Chiesa. So it would have been pretty damn close.
Right there in the action.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think that would play a part now. You get that out of your head. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't.
I think all the pressure is off the girls though. The
Oh,
spotlight's off them.
absolutely,
The
yeah.
pressure's off them.
No
All
one's
they gotta
talking
do
about
is
them
go out
anymore.
there
They
and-
can just warm up and go fight
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So I'm super interested. So pull up this fight card. You're gonna have to because I don't even know who these fucking guys are
I think
who are in the
Joe
third fight.
Lazon and
No, it should be
yeah. Well, where do you want me to start?
next fight down.
Okay, so
Right.
Joe Lazon.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
And-
Joe Lozon and Grutzmacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have Lozon obviously is minus 165, and Chris is a plus 135.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
That
it's
makes
not,
sense.
they're pretty close.
Trevor, who do you got in this fight? J-Lo's been slipping.
Yeah, he's been on a skid.
Yeah.
I wish my phone was charged right now because I would take a look at my Google Docs and could come up with more of an educated guess.
Check the stats.
I mean, Chris is kind of a scrappy wrestler, basically, and I think that should probably feed into Joe's game. But you know, again, we're talking about the mental game. Joe's mental game has not been there.
That's
for the last
third
couple
up.
years.
That's the third last fight. Joe Lozon versus
I thought it was that Kyle Katan,
Kyle
Cater.
That's
who-
right. That's right.
That's
the next fight.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll get to that.
So I think I like the price on Joe Lozon. He's always been one of my favorites. He
Oh,
posts
yeah.
on Reddit, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he's on the underground forum all the time too.
I like guys like that. He goes to war. He's a guy that if you look up and watch any of his old fights,
He's not going to shy away from a fight.
No.
Yeah. He's got a lot of bonuses,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fighter.
I think decision
You're taking Joe, obviously.
Yeah.
Joe decision.
we can't search that real quick, but
What's that?
is Chris's nickname Grits?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's fighting Brits. Yeah.
Of me,
He was on the Ultimate Fighter.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw his picture earlier, and I recognized him. I've seen him fight. I know Joe Lozon more. I've seen him fight more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So without knowing too much, I would decision Joe Lozon.
All right. What do you got? What do you got, Matt?
It's a good price,
I had
too,
the
I
exact same
think.
pick. I had decision unanimous by Lozon.
I'm going to take Joe at third round sub.
Going for the finish.
Yeah.
Big finish night for this
Yeah.
guy.
Well, I'm hoping. Except for Khabib. You guys both picked TKO in that fight, and I picked the decision in that one.
Oh, did you?
So Matt, you're taking Joe by decision. right?
Decision.
Yeah, and Trevor, you as well. And I'm taking third round sub. All right, so let's get to the next fight. Again, I don't know a lot about either one of these guys. I know is Qatar.
He's up and coming. He's
Yeah.
they're trying to fast track that kid, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right about that because I actually thought he was the third fight down.
Me too. I thought he was. Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
This could be ordered.
No,
wrong,
normally
I guess,
if you're
but-
looking at a sports book,
I
they
might
have
vote
they
on
have
it.
they
I
have
might
them
vote on
at
it,
they've got to close the line as the fight happens.
As the
so
fight happens.
that's generally a good
That's the
tell
way it's
of
gonna go.
the bout order.
Yeah, I guess they probably mixed up the bout order.
And they have them as an
after-
exact pick at minus 115 each.
Yeah.
Who's
is-
Cater fighting?
Reynano Moicano?
Moicano.
Moicano.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know
Moicano's
at all.
he's been mowed down by a few people. He's not super impressive. He's a tough, durable guy, but he's been mowed down by a few people.
Who did Qatar fight last? Does anyone know?
I don't know. He is yet to fight a big.
Pull that
name.
up, Jamie.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna be Jamie. Real quick.
I think without.
I think he's plus. I think he's +2 in the UFC, which is that's an automatic bet.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he's got 2 or 3 fights in the UFC.
Moicano.
No, Cater.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's fought anyone of like. I think he might be a Contender Series guy.
He could be.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, he could be.
And those guys are.
We should probably know more about this on the fight show.
Well, let's not forget a bunch of fights got fucking canceled.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
And a
true.
lot of big fights.
We're off the
Good
hook on-
fights.
we're off the hook on this
Paul Felder was off the card.
Yeah.
Mike
He's
Chiesa is
pissed.
off the
I mean,
card.
they're both unranked guys. We can't be
Artem
accountable.
Lobov,
Yeah,
my Russian
exactly.
hammer, my
Oh,
boy. Nice
Yeah.
and flowy, Artem. Nice and flowy.
He's off the fucking
Oh,
card.
he's off the
He
card.
might. I don't think we might ever see him fight
Free
the UFC
Artem.
again.
That's possible.
Free Artem. He's fighting again. Connor won't fight again. Connor's pretty loyal. And
Listen, this is another fucking conversation altogether. Well, from Connor.
we're gonna have to have a
God.
Connor podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why I don't
So,
like
I
the
love
guy.
Conor.
That's why I don't like the guy
I
that.
love him.
I've seen Moicano lose, and I haven't seen Qatar lose. Cater, whatever the fuck his name
Yeah.
is. So I'm taking Cater. And I'm just gonna say decision because I don't know how this is gonna play out. I don't know enough about either one of them. I know Moicano's a tough, durable guy, so I'm just gonna go decision. What do you think, Trevor?
This fucking guy doesn't have a record thing on his Wikipedia.
There you go. There you go.
Calvin Cater. Do you have his?
I just.
No, that's all right. Just to be a little bit different, I'll do TKO.
TKO, you got a round you like?
2.
2. Second round. What do you think, Matt?
I'm taking Cater as well. KO, third round.
KO, round 3. All right, moving on. Who's next? We got another pair of broads next? Or what do we
Nope.
got?
Nope.
Shaburger Bergamot,
Yes.
Oh,
Exactly
yes,
who it is.
right. He's the other Megamed.
Nurga
Boschnick,
Shapiro.
Kyle Boschnick.
Oh yeah, Boschnick versus.
And Boschnick's a plus 425.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's getting murked.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Smash.
I think, let me...
Shapirov. His last name ends in Shapirov.
That's right,
It's in-
yeah.
Starts with
Yeah,
Nurmagomedov or
Megamed
looks like that.
Bashirov.
Magomee.
Let me look at it.
Sharipov. I gotta take a breath in between spelling his name.
Magomed
take that
Shapirov. Bashirov.
Got that?
Yeah, go ahead. I got that.
I don't think I've ever watched that guy fight before.
I'm taking Maggie. I'm just going to call him Maggie.
Maggie.
that.
Maggie. I'm taking Maggie. First round TKO. Trevor, who do you like here?
Maggie.
Maggie.
Submission. I don't even know if the guy can do guillotine.
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 it.
Guillotine.
Guillotine.
Poutine. Poutine. What do you like? Any round you like?
Oh,
in particular.
Round 2.
Round
A
2.
lot of second round finishes.
Matt, we got to get through this.
Let's do it. I got Maggie.
You got Maggie.
Round 2.
Round 2.
TKO.
2 TKO. What do we got next?
This is one of my favorite fights on the card.
All right.
Carolina Kolakajek.
Oh yeah.
And Felice.
Herrick.
Little Bulldog.
This is very interesting. What's your take on this?
You always go to me. I'm not even that I'm fairly casual, just a long-term casual
Yes,
fan.
you sound like a very casual fan with your notes and your fucking
Systems.
yeah. Let me pull up my biography and go through.
I don't know. I just remember watching the two recent Little Bulldog fights. I like to call them by their nicknames a lot.
Sure.
Felice. She's impressed me.
Yeah.
But I think Carolina is just stepping up her game, and she's cute. Not
Yeah.
not to get all sexist and
Sure.
but she's cute.
I think you take her head and put it on Felice's body. Now you're talking about
Yeah.
a fight. Right? I mean, it's...
I get married in July. I'm not saying shit.
Jesus Christ, you fucking coward. All right, when you've been married 17 years,
Listen,
we'll come
I
back
love
here and
my
we'll see what you
fiance.
do. All
Okay?
right,
I
Jesus
love her so
Christ.
much.
This is getting fucking disgusting.
I'm just fucking.
All right, so you're gonna take Herrick.
No.
No.
Oh, you're taking Carolina. That's
Yep.
right. You think she's too much. Okay,
Yeah,
all
Trevor's
right.
got a brain.
And what do you like? What do you like for the?
I think it'll be a decision.
Yeah, I think it'll go the distance.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Matt? I know what you think. You
my-
love Carolina. as
My
well.
girl Carolina.
Okay.
I'm taking TKO third round.
TKO 3. Okay. So I think that Felice has improved leaps and fucking bounds since she's been on the Ultimate Fighter. I tend to agree with you. I think Carolina maybe
Carolina Kovacevic.
Okay. All right. Take it easy.
How did I say her name?
All right. I'm not as in love with
I
her.
think
All right? What's her nickname?
I don't think she has one.
All right.
I just love her demeanor in the cage. First time I ever saw her, I know who she was. I think she was on a prelim on a fight night card.
Right.
And just two little tiny fucking girls in a cage. And she just leaned against the back smiling like while Bruce Buffer's introducing her like, I just want to punch this other girl in the face.
Sure.
Ever since that moment, Team Carolina all day.
All right.
Is she
Well,
from Poland?
yes.
Too?
Yeah.
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 She's
So,
just as decorated as Joanna over there as a, I think, Thai fighter? Or is it kickboxing? I can't remember if it's Muay Thai or
Muay Thai.
kickboxing.
Yeah, they were Muay Thai, over
right?
there.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm taking Felice.
Felice,
I got to go
yeah.
against the grain here. I got to take Felice. I think it'll go decision too, but I think I think Felice is I don't know. She's so goddamn tenacious. I think she's gonna pull it out. So I'm gonna go with Felice on that. Decision.
That's the one fight that I'm with.
Yeah,
If
I think- I actually
Carolina
think
loses, I'm gonna be upset.
I think that's the closest fight on the card. To be honest, that we've gone through so far.
That's
What
a
were the
free
odds
fight.
on that
That's
one?
the.
Yeah, what are the odds on that one?
I'll check it
It's
out. That's the
gotta
last.
be close.
That's the last fight of the prelims.
I think
too.
if I had to handicap it, we're
Carolina
going
would be a little- yeah.
minus 180 to 220 to
Yeah.
Felice's whatever 150 to 175.
You nailed it.
I think
minus
I think
200
over 200 is a little aggressive.
minus 200 to plus 160.
Yeah,
He was right
Yeah,
in there.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know why you keep
I
coming
know,
to
I know.
me. I don't know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm just a casual fan. Let me just lay down the betting odds real quick.
He's just a degenerate gambler. That's what he's not fucking telling you.
You're only degenerate if you lose.
Yeah, that's true enough.
Like Norm says, gambling is the best addiction ever. It's the only addiction that you
The
can
rest
win
of the
money.
fights,
Yeah, exactly.
the rest of the fights don't. I don't even fucking know.
Olivier Aubin Mercier fights, right? What are
Yes.
the odds on his
Evan
fight?
Dunham.
Ooh,
Olivier,
that's
a
right. That's
good
a
fight.
good fight. I like this
Yeah.
fight.
Olivier is a plus 105.
Yeah,
So that's a pick 'em.
That's a pick 'em.
That's a
Minus
pick 'em.
135.
but I don't know if it should be a pick 'em in. I mean, you're talking about Evan Dunham.
I
used to
like
be-
Dunham in that one.
He used to be top 5 in that division.
He's only
I-
he's only
That was a
minus
while ago.
135.
Yeah,
So you can make some money off that.
yeah.
I like OAM. He's one of the guys that you see him live and you kind of watch every single time. Another guy that he just fought in London, I think it was Cajun, or they didn't call him
Cajun Johnson.
They didn't call him Cajun Johnson. Now he's called Kajan Johnson.
Kajan,
Or
are
something
you
like-
serious?
Yeah, he's like thought it was. I don't know.
Kajan.
And
It's
OAM.
those black names.
I
you
think
never know.
I think he either wins in a boring fight
Yeah,
or Dunham takes him to school.
I think Dunham takes him to school.
Yeah.
Late in the second round. That's the way I see it.
Olivier
I don't think we need to
decision.
make official picks on it because it is so far down the card. It doesn't really fucking matter.
I just?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let's see if
There's
we-
2 more fights before that. There's,
See if
only,
you see
Oh,
one that
yeah.
tickles you.
there's only 9 fights this card.
I thought there was another like old school guy in there. I guess maybe it was Evan Dunham. I was thinking
You probably get hit in the face with a
That first.
what'd you call them? The dolly.
hand truck.
Hand truck.
No, that's pretty much it. We the only other one is Devin Clark versus Mike Rodriguez, and I don't think I've ever watched either of those guys fight.
Don't sound familiar.
And then the other women's fight, Ashley Evans Smith versus Beck Rollins.
Beck Rollins. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of. I'm a big fan of Beck Rollins. I like.
Yeah, and I don't think.
She's the underdog, plus 160.
Yeah, it makes sense because
Okay.
yeah, Ashley Evans.
her
it's-
record is like 6-6, I think.
Yeah, it's not great.
She's been put through the ringer.
She's not great.
But
She doesn't have a high level of skill. That's for sure.
The Ashley Evans Smith, I don't think is anything to write home about either. I think
No.
it's a winnable fight for Beck.
Yeah.
Rowdy. I always thought that was weird that her nickname's also Rowdy.
Also rowdy. Yeah. Yeah. What do you do?
It's almost his original Scrap Chat.
Yeah.
Did
Jesus, that's a heartbreaker, by the way.
we'll probably wrap this up shortly.
Oh yeah, 'cause we got to get this uploaded immediately.
But have you guys watched any of the combat jujitsu? Eddie Bravo's
I
thing?
watched some of the
No.
highlights, like whenever I watched the one with John Jones. Was that the one John Jones was on?
Yeah.
Oh no,
No,
that was
this is,
that was Chael Sonnen's. That was Sonnen's
Yeah.
tournament.
It's on YouTube, and they'll be going to Fight Pass in the future. But Combat Jiu-Jitsu, it's like the EBI format,
Yeah, but now you
except
can do
palm strikes,
palm strikes. Yeah.
while
Yeah, but-
the opponent is grounded.
Yeah.
And the first one is on YouTube for free. It's like a 4-hour event. It's a 2-person bracket, a two different weight class bracket. So
Okay.
very cool, action packed. It adds a completely different element to like the EBI rules of just grappling.
As soon as you add palm strikes,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah, and Matt,
I heard him talking on Rogan about that.
It's
actually.
very cool. And anyone listening, if you're a fan of martial arts, it's worth the watch.
Yeah, I got to check out the EBI. You, Matt, in particular, should be checking that out because that'll help you get a lot more knowledgeable about the ground game in MMA.
Well, yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I was watching some of the Chael. What were they calling the Chael Sonnen?
Submission Underground?
Submission Underground. I was watching
yeah.
those ones.
Yeah, right. Who commentates EBI? Do you know?
No. It's good, though.
Yeah, but it's basically nobody's. There's no big names. You'd probably remember it. From the
Yeah,
movies.
it's...
See, for me, for
yeah.
jiu-jitsu, instead of watching those tournaments because I don't know anyone, I like watching. I watched the video of Rogan teaching TJ a submission and stuff like that. So I'll watch like fighters that I already kind of know and like.
Their
just
technique
like their
videos.
technique videos, like
Yeah.
training videos or teaching other guys
Sure.
or whatever. Just something rather than just two fucking jiu-jitsu
You're
guys.
more interested in that,
Someone I can kind of relate to at least,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, like
yeah.
videos like good like breakdowns after the fight, like a Danaher breakdown or a Gracie
I
breakdown.
like Luke
Yeah.
Thomas's breakdowns. He does.
Donner's a goddamn fucking genius.
Luke Thomas does a good breakdown, and he actually does it on YouTube with like a slideshow because he can't
Get off Luke Thomas's nuts.
Whoa.
Jesus Christ.
Well, sorry, I'm not.
He was all right when he was back on fucking Cage Potato.
Oh my
Kind of
God.
lost the fucking plot lately.
Maybe when you're your age, Mark. Like when you're a young gun like me.
Yeah, I
you gotta go
guess.
for that younger demographic.
He is sexy. I'll give you that. He is sexy.
I like his beard. I like his beard.
Well, boys, this was the fucking fight show.
It's,
Let's go.
it's a lot of fun.
I think more importantly than any of this bullshit is we gotta go watch the fights.
I can't fucking wait.
All right.
You guys are supposed to come to my house.
Yeah.
Fucking
but
bailed on me.
babies,
All right.
wives.
So you get missed.
Listen, I love my wife. Oh, I love my wife. Why are you guys doing wife stuff? What's
Hey.
up with the? Yeah.
All I'm
Listen.
saying.
Don't
you're
you have to
missing
get
out.
home to the fucking
I
wife?
get-
How many times she texted you since you've been here?
Never, but she knows what's up.
Yes.
Okay, I heard your phone ding, and I know that. All
Hey,
right.
don't you fucking worry about my phone.
Yeah. Hey, who called last time on the podcast? Was it your wife or mine? Oh, it was yours. That's right.
Mine,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
But I didn't bring my wife flowers before I came over for the fucking podcast either, bud. So let's keep that in mind. Trevor, it's been a pleasure.
I love
Thanks, bud.
this.
At Trevor Mux, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Stay black, cocksuckers!